Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where we are currently working on getting our prosperity up, and as we can see, our axe monies have been drifting downward. And I suspect that's because of our increased imports that we did of I believe we increased our imports of obsidian? Yeah. As well as, I think, Megui. So that's fine. We are going to be seeing these additional trading posts coming online. So that will, of course, be a very good thing for us eventually. But it's going to take some time for these to actually export. And that's absolutely okay. So for now, that's looking fine. And the real question is, where is the trend on our prosperity right now? And the trend is upwards. We are currently at 53 out of 70. Okay. Now 54 out of 70. So that looks good. Bandits, very rude. Very rude indeed. Our jobs are in a much better position at this point, although we still do need a few more jobs. And I'm actually thinking about maybe putting some additional trading posts out over here, but I'm looking at these and I'm thinking, we don't have very much cotton in them at this point. What's our status on our cotton buds is my main question right now. So we have our cotton weavers down over here, right? Yeah, they're right over this way. And the real question is, if we go to the porter yard that feeds them, how are they doing on cotton buds? They're at 0 of 40. So we might actually want to slightly expand our cotton production. Slightly. We've gotten this far on 4 cotton farms. I'm going to increase it by 50%. So we're going to put in more cotton beds right here. There we go. And then we're going to put in another one right up over here. That's going to be additional cotton beds right there. So that should be fine, and that'll produce more. And then down over this direction, this porter yard is at 6 out of 6. I'm wondering, do we have a porter yard over this direction somewhere that is not full up? And the answer is no. So I'm going to put in a porter yard about here. And that's going to be primarily focused on getting cotton buds. That's it for now. Just getting some cotton buds. So that looks good for the moment, and I'm going to put a couple of additional trading posts, or not trading posts, a couple of additional cotton weavers down over here. So they are going to be down this direction. I'm putting in 4. That should be a lot, in theory. Actually, I'm thinking about having it be more like this as far as the road goes. Then the road will go out to here. The barracks means that the road is going to come up over this direction. And then it can just kind of meander on over this way like that and connect into the road. Okay, so that looks good. We'll get that underway. I don't think we need housing over here for right now, but that will definitely get us some additional jobs going in. And that looks good. So yeah, these are going to get finished relatively quickly up over this direction, and we can continue to expand our farming up here if we need to. Actually, kind of looks like we do, doesn't it? So let's go ahead and put in a farming hut right here, and this is going to be another farming field. So this is going to be maize like so, and then fruit here, 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 and here, and then that's going to be chili beds. I'm going to do another one down over here, and another one right up over here. Yeah, there's some flooding going on over here. That's fine. So we're going to put in maize fields like so, and like... that's not putting it exactly where I want it to go. I guess we'll do this instead. Okay, so we'll do chili beds here. That's 31 out of 32. This needs to be chinampad. Okay. And now we've got a small problem because it's wanting to give that to this location. I'm going to put in one final chili bed right here just to solve that. We'll move this over later on. So that seems okay. And then we'll put our maize here. There we go. And of course, our fruit trees are going to go in, and then the chili beds. So that should be additional food production and additional cotton cotton production. So that should all be fine, but it'll take a little bit of time for that to work its way up, of course. So this Chinampa here is maturing, and we're going to move this chili bed over. Can we just... Okay, we can use the move tool for that. That's exactly what I want to do. Yeah, some of our workshops are lacking stone and cotton buds. That's not very surprising. So, this home needs maize to develop. Fertility and irrigation are both perfect here. Wow. Okay. So these are going to be producing like mad. I like it. So that looks good. And now the question is, okay, this has everything it needs for the moment. This home needs maize. This is not actually reaching this market. So we should probably consider putting in an additional market. I'm thinking about putting that in right about here to be able to reach here. And then this farmer's hut does reach this market. So that looks good for now. Here we need access to more diversion. That's fair enough. I'm going to Chinampa a little bit of space right out over here. About like that. And ditch that section of canal. I don't even think that was supposed to be there. So that's going to need to be Chinampa'd as well once that gets removed. But that is going to take a little bit of time. Okay, so that's making progress. This is Chinampa'd at this point, so I want to just... Oh, we can't move that. Okay, we're going to remove this chili bed up here then, and we'll just put it down right here, is the idea. Any moment now, we'll go and remove it. And also, I see that this was removed, but it's not close enough to actually be able to Chinampa that. So we'll have to wait a bit on that one. That's okay. What I'm thinking right now is I'm thinking about putting a sauna here and then maybe a sauna like back over this way or something. We'll see about that. Prosperity is dropping, and that's probably due to these homes not being very upgraded at this moment, is my current thinking. Okay, this chili bed needs to go right over here. Perfect. So that'll be fine. We could also do some Chinampaing right up over here, which I do want to do. So we'll get that started. That seems okay. And this, of course, needs to be Chinampa'd. Perfect. So our prosperity is continuing to drop. Again, I really think that it's due to the fact that these homes are completely unupgraded. Also, there's this home that's unupgraded as well. Needs maize to develop. These have this market here, which should be fed by this granary, right? I think it should be. But I'm not seeing any maize in it right now. But this granary is also low on its maize quantities. So we need to start producing more maize. That's definitely a thing that we need. I think we have a lack of maize in some of our far-flung areas. So I'm just checking in on our maize quantities. Yeah, so that's the overall issue for sure, is that we need a lot more maize. We have maize here, but it's not really getting distributed around, which means that we're not really producing enough of it. So that sounds good. We'll continue to work on that. These down over here should absolutely be producing. That should not be a problem. We should have cotton buds starting to flow in down here. But maize is continuing to be a bit of an issue. We have maize here, interestingly. We have lots of food over here. But we don't have it over here. So that's definitely indicating that there's a problem there. Our prosperity is dropping fast. It's down to 35. So what's going on with that? Honestly, I have no idea how to read this. I think this is due to destitution. But that's fine for the moment. We'll work on bringing that up. Yeah, these houses over here are unupgrading, and this is due to lack of maize. That's the issue. So that's understood. These farms are beginning to produce at this point, and they should produce significant maize. So that'll be fine. We're accepting that up in this granary, and we can see we are beginning to produce some chili, some maize. That looks excellent. So, out over this direction, I am definitely interested in putting in a sauna somewhere around like here. Now, that's not going to reach these up over here necessarily, but that's okay. We'll put in a sauna about here, and that'll reach these homes. And then we'll put in another sauna up here, but that doesn't reach out over here. I'm wondering if we were to Chinampa everything that's here and then connect this up, it would probably reach at least some of this from here. Right? I would think it would reach at least some. So let's get that going, and if we feel like we need to further increase our maize production, we can. But these are still coming online. They're not fully online yet. So that's understood. Poor nutrition is becoming a problem. Yeah, so that's absolutely a thing. 1000%. So this sauna out over here is now providing some diversion and healthcare in this region. We need access to more religion out over here. Yeah, I'm not surprised about that. So how are we going to do that? Well, we can make a little bit of space over here, theoretically, by running the road around like this, which is why I chinampa'd it the way that I did. So I want that to come like this, like that. Also, we can chinampa right there, which I'm interested in doing. So all of this road gets removed, and that actually has swamp underneath it. So that needs to get chinampa'd. That's noted. This whole area is currently flooded. Okay, that's fine. So, for now, our prosperity is continuing to drop, and this is almost certainly because our granaries just are not full enough. So it's very clear at this time that we need to expand our farmland, I think more than what we have here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a canal out over this direction, and this is going to be stone canals. I'm going to take a canal about like this, and then we're going to run roads, but the roads are going to be a little awkward. We're going to have to run out and around this market. It's not ideal, but that's okay for now. So a road can go out like this, and then we would have this road like that, and then we'd have this road that goes up like this, right? And then these areas are going to remain service-based for now. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then stone canals would go through right here like that. And that's going to create us some additional farmland. So we'll run a road like this, but then this canal is going to have to go out like that. And then this road would connect here, which means that some of this area needs chinampas, specifically right here. So we'll do that. That seems good for now. And then I'm going to put in a farmer's hut right here. And this is, of course, going to be maize and fruit trees. Like so. So we just want to get more food production going here, I feel like. This out over here, this space is going to be a little bit truncated, and that's okay. I'm going to put a farmer's hut here, and this is going to be producing only maize in this area. So that's going to be 16 maize there. And then out over here, we can do fruit trees. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the chili beds are going to fill in the rest of this area, like that. So then this is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then this is where the canals are going to go in. So that's a little bit of an awkward spot right there, but it'll do. So let's put in some stone canals right here. And those will go up to right there. Excellent. And then, of course, we're going to need to chinampa all of this space. I'm a little surprised we can't chinampa these. Oh, those are barrens. Okay, that's fine. So then we're just going to run the road up like that. Okay, so now we can, of course, put in an additional farmer's hut right about here. And I'm assuming that this granary reaches it. It does. Most of these services should. So we're going to put in more maize right here. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then chili beds. Perfect. And once again, I'm going to do a farmer's hut here and here, but we'll wait until those chinampas are done, I think. So we'll get that underway, up over that way. Now, out over here, the idea was that we were going to connect this up like that, and then we're going to slap a sauna in right up over here, hoping that that would reach here. It does not. So instead, we can chinampa some area out over this way, like that, and move the sauna this direction. We only need 2 tiles. So, as we can see here, that's 2 tiles away, so if we put it here, this would reach. So that looks good. And then we can, of course, put a sauna, like, down over here to service up this way somewhat. Okay, so we'll get that going. That seems fine. Our prosperity is continuing to drop, and this is just because we don't have grain coming down to this granary. I think that's the only reason. Well, we don't have grain in a number of granaries. You can see that our common homes down here are downgrading as well. So that means that this market, which is fed by this granary, doesn't have food. So despite the fact that we have 1,080 food in stock, it's just not being distributed enough. That means that our consumption is too high. So, for the moment, it's okay. We'll work on expanding our food production, and that'll be fine. I'm watching our maize just slip away at this point. It's very sad. I thought that this would be enough food production, but apparently not. Good to know. So we'll get more food production online as soon as we can. Yeah, diet is a problem right now. That's absolutely understood. So fertility up over this direction is excellent. So that looks good. This immediately upgraded to a small cottage. And there's definitely some religion that we could put in over this way. I'm thinking a shrine to Tlatoani. And that's good symmetry there. If we put one up here, this would be average symmetry, which I think is good enough. And how far down this way does this reach? Not terribly. Well, it reaches down to this guy. So that's actually good. It does not quite reach this, but that's fine. It'll reach everything up over here. So we'll get those shrines to Tlaloc in. That'll be okay. And we need to be producing more maize. That's very clear at this point. Okay, so we're currently net positive for the year. I'm going to build more maize farms right up over here once these chinampas are cleared. So that'll be fine. And these stone canals, of course, they still need some work. So it's going to take time to get all of this online. But that's absolutely fine for the moment. Poor nutrition is becoming a problem. Yeah, we're tackling it. Once we get all of the food flowing again, we should be in a position where these houses get upgraded again, and our prosperity should start going up pretty quickly. In theory, anyway. So I do want to put a chinampa right here. There we go. We'll get that going anyway. And now, these chinampas are just about done, so I do want to put in the sauna that was going to go right up over... Yeah, here is actually viable, but I want to put it like here or maybe even here. So that means we need to wait for this chinampa to end. That seems fine. So these cottages are being things. As we can see, the food is not building up in this granary, and we would expect the food to build up in this granary if we are producing enough food. This means that we still have a significant food deficit that we're working through, and that's understandable. Yeah, we still have a very significant food deficit at this time. So that's okay. We'll just run our road out to here. And we're going to put in 2 additional farmers' huts. One here, and that will be a standard farm, producing primarily maize, but also a few other types of food. There we go. And we'll do another farm right up over here. So that will also be primarily maize. Why is that 15? Oh, this is swamp. Okay, that needs to be chinampa'd. So we'll get that done. That chinampa should be finished very quickly, in theory. So that seems good. We've got our irrigation out here, and we're starting to produce some food here. Looks like our food quantities are positive now. That's good. These farms aren't fully online, so our food quantity is going to be quite positive once we get that done. Okay. Yeah, so our food quantity is definitely positive. We are hoping to see some maize start to flow to some of these far-flung granaries very soon. And we can continue to farm up over this way, of course. There's lots and lots of space for us to farm in. So that looks good. Just waiting on this Trinampa, but it's almost done. So let's grab our maize fields here. And that will now be 16. Perfect. And we'll get these fruit trees in. There we go. So this farm will be starting to get online. Perfect. Needs access to a sweeper. That's true. We don't have a sweeper around here, do we? We definitely should have one. So this sweeper would reach all the way down here and all the way up here, but it wouldn't quite reach up this way. We can put... Well, this sweeper does reach up there. We do have a sweeper here, but that'll be okay for now. So I did want to put that sauna in over this direction, with the idea being that it goes here, just to serve these two houses. That's literally it. So that seems fine for now, and we're hoping to see these granaries start to build up supplies. And actually, they kind of are. We're definitely starting to get a lot more foodstuffs coming in. So that's phenomenal. We should start to see some of these houses upgrading again. In theory. They definitely downgraded pretty far. And that is because we need a lot more maize, particularly in this granary. We just got a delivery of 27 maize. So that's noted. I am also noticing that our axe monies are still negative. So one thing we might want to consider doing is putting in another batch of our cotton weavers right over here. So I'm doing exactly that, and this road is going to have to slightly awkwardly extend around, but that's okay. So another batch of cotton weavers are going to go in here and start producing additional cotton. Excellent. That'll give us more exports, because as we can see, locations like this barely have any cotton in them. So that looks good. We'll start producing more cotton exports there. We've got these two additional cotton farms, which are producing a lot. And right, we don't have education out in this area. So to that end, we can put in something like this right up over here. That reaches some of this, and then we can put another one here, which almost reaches. Almost. What if we were to Chinampa right over here? I feel like that would work. So if we did some Chinampas right over this direction, that's about all the further we can get from this canal, but that'll do for now. So we'll get going on that. Education out in this area, so we're not going to be reaching these guys down here. That's noted. I'm going to Chinampa us straight on down over to here. And then there's this stone canal here, which is mildly awkward, right? I'm going to remove it. And we're going to Chinampa that spot. Like that. Then what we're going to do is we're going to put in a bridge here, which will allow a direct connection right here, in theory. And I'm also going to Chinampa right here just to be a bit on the safe side on that one. It's a little bit awkward in this area, but that should be reasonably fine. So we'll get those underway. Yeah, we'll probably have some flooding over here from it. That's okay. I don't actually mind it. So checking in on these granaries, we're definitely seeing our maize quantities rising. That's a very good sign. We're still struggling with maize here. But across the city, our maze levels are increasing, and that's without these 2 farms being online. So I'm very pleased to see that. That looks phenomenal. So we're starting to see some of the progress out over here on the Chinampas. I want to connect these roads up over here, and I want to connect this in. Yeah, technically this was not required here. Okay, that's fine. We'll just leave it be. So roads that connect in like that, and then we can put in an education service, as we had talked about, right up over here. But we need a little bit more Chinampa space, I think, up over here. So something about like that. So we'll get that going. Now that we have a connection out over here, we can see that this shrine, or these shrines, are providing services, as is this alcove and this market. So that's going to be pretty decent. Our prosperity is still low, but we should, yeah, we're starting to see these houses re-upgrade. They should upgrade pretty quickly as our maze starts to come out, and I see that these farms are now starting to come online as well. Beautiful. So that all looks great. I do want to get our education service in over here. It's not quite ready yet. And I want to put this in like right here, which means that this piece of swamp would need to be cleared out. That's a little unfortunate. Well, let's get that underway. The flooding is definitely occurring for right now, but this is not that big of a deal. Okay, so this Chinampa's in and is maturing. Looks good. It is about time to put a cut in, but I want to get this education structure built first before we end this episode, because I'm probably not going to remember to do this next episode. So this could go in here right now, and is that fine? I really kind of want it to be here. Yeah, I really, really want it to be here. So we'll do that as soon as we can. So we're currently up to 36 prosperity. Our prosperity is starting to increase again, and our maize quantity is significantly increasing. We've gained over 1,500 maize in stock. So that looks great. And we'll get that in there. There we go. But as I said, it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to see about getting that maize delivered to this area out over here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, Rornaz, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.